Think about the last time you smelled something awful. Maybe it was a trash can on a hot day, maybe a gym locker room, something that made you physically step back. Now imagine that smell, but coming from a person, not because anything was wrong with them, but because that's just what people smelled like. If you stood face to face with a human from 30,000 years ago, before they said a single word, before you noticed their clothes or their face, one thing would hit you first. You're standing in a room with a person from 30,000 years ago. Same species as you, same brain, same eyes looking back at you. But before they say a single word, something hits you. The smell. We don't think about it much, but every era of human history had a scent. And for most of that history, that scent was strong, really strong. Strong enough that if you traveled back in time, the smell might be the first thing you noticed before the clothes, before the language, before anything else. So, what did ancient humans actually smell like? And why did we ever start caring about smelling good in the first place? Let's start with the obvious. They didn't bathe. Not the way you do. There was no soap, no shampoo, no hot shower waiting at the end of the day. For most of human history, washing meant a river, a lake, or nothing at all. And in cold climates, jumping into freezing water wasn't exactly appealing, so a lot of the time people simply didn't. That means sweat stayed on the skin, dirt built up, oils collected in the hair. The human body produces a surprising amount of grime when it's left alone, and ancient humans were left alone for days, weeks, sometimes longer. But here's the part most people don't think about. It wasn't just the lack of washing, it was everything around them too. They lived close to fire, constantly. Fire meant warmth, safety, cooked food, and protection from animals, but it also meant smoke. That smoke soaked into their hair, their skin, and whatever they were wearing. An ancient human probably smelled like a campfire that never went out. Then there's the clothing, animal hides, furs, skins that were scraped, dried, and worn for months. Without modern tanning, those materials held onto everything: sweat, smoke, blood from the hunt, and the natural smell of the animal it came from. And the food didn't help. Ancient humans ate what they could find and kill: raw and cooked meat, marrow, organs, foraged plants, and whatever else kept them alive. Diet changes body odor more than people realize. A heavy meat diet combined with no dental care at all meant breath that would clear a room today. Because yes, their teeth, there were no toothbrushes, no dentists. The mouth is one of the strongest sources of smell on the human body, and theirs went completely unmanaged for an entire lifetime. Now here's where it gets interesting. To them, none of this smelled bad. Smell is relative. When you're surrounded by something every single day from birth, your brain stops flagging it. It becomes the background, the baseline. An ancient human wouldn't have walked around disgusted because to them, this was just what people smelled like. It was normal. It was human. In fact, smell may have done something for them that it doesn't really do for us anymore. Body odor carries information. It can signal who's related to you, who's healthy, who's part of your group, and who isn't. Long before names and faces became the main way we recognized each other, scent was already doing that job. A mother could recognize her child by smell. A group could recognize an outsider. In a world without IDs, without writing, without any of the systems we rely on now, your scent was part of your identity. It told people who you were. So that strong smell we'd find overwhelming today wasn't a flaw. It was a signal. It was data. It was part of how humans survived in groups. So when did we start caring? The shift came slowly as humans settled down, formed larger communities, and started living closer together. Smell became more of a problem. More people in one place meant more odor, more waste, and more disease. Cleanliness slowly started to matter, not because of vanity, but because of survival. Ancient civilizations eventually developed perfumes, oils, and early forms of bathing, not to smell good for fun, but often tied to status, religion, and health. Smelling clean became a sign that you had resources, that you weren't living in filth, that you were in some way above the struggle, and that idea never left us. Think about it. Today, smelling good is tied to almost everything: attraction, confidence, status. We spend billions on products designed to erase our natural scent and replace it with something else entirely. Flowers, spices, things that don't even come from our bodies. We've gotten so good at hiding our natural smell that most people have no idea what a human actually smells like underneath all of it. But that smell is still there, the same one our ancestors carried. We just spend our whole lives covering it up. So, if you ever stood face to face with an ancient human, yes, the smell would hit you hard: smoke, sweat, hide, and a body that had never known soap. But to them, you might smell strange too: artificial, chemical, like flowers and plastic and something they couldn't name. They might find your scent just as unsettling as you'd find theirs. Because smell isn't really about clean or dirty, it's about what you're used to, what your world taught you was normal. Ancient humans smelled like the earth they lived in, like fire and animals and survival, like a life lived completely outdoors, completely exposed, completely real. And maybe that's the strangest part of all. We spend so much energy erasing the way we naturally smell that we've forgotten it was once the very thing that told other people who we were. So the next time you cover up your scent, remember, for most of human history, that smell wasn't something to hide. It was your name.